Like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. But for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So, and we gonna go buck full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right, because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Happy holidays, Justin.
It's not gonna happen today.
You know when?
All you want is money. Go, get out of here. All you guys want is money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here, money. That's all you care about, money? That's all you care about, guys. It's money. You don't care about people. Only money. Only money.
We're talking about Justin Bieber, like he doesn't need any sort of like drama or anything to get people to listen to his music. So it all just doesn't make sense. But there's just so many people talking about him with concern right now.
Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami mansions raided by SWAT teams. His sons, Justin and King, in handcuffs in their own yard. The bi-coastal operation is part of an ongoing investigation.
Justin Bieber's public unraveling is happening right in front of us, and fans are sounding the alarm. Just days after Sean Diddy Combs was arrested and thrust into legal chaos, Justin was seen out in public, looking gaunt, detached, and visibly exhausted. The confident, smiling pop star is nowhere to be seen. In his place is a young man who seems to be emotionally crumbling under pressures we can only begin to understand. His fans, many of whom have followed him since his teenage breakout, are heartbroken and scared, watching helplessly as he seems to spiral deeper into isolation and despair. But this story isn't just about Justin's recent behavior. It's about the dark undercurrents of his past, the hidden traumas that may be resurfacing, and the very real possibility that Diddy's fall from grace is dragging Justin back into a nightmare he's been trying to escape for years. Let's break this down. The concern over Justin's mental and emotional state isn't just coming out of nowhere. For months, fans have noticed subtle but telling signs: his detached expressions at events, his tendency to pull away from public life, and the quiet, almost ghostly presence he's maintained on social media. But in the days following Diddy's arrest, things took a sharp turn. Vacation photos surfaced showing Justin using what looked like a bong alongside singer Eddie Benjamin. While celebrities experimenting with substances isn't new, the harsh fan reaction made it clear that this wasn't just about partying. People weren't angry, they were worried. To them, it looked like Justin was trying to numb himself, to silence something darker brewing beneath the surface. This suspicion isn't unfounded. Justin has a long, complicated history with substance use, particularly during the height of his early fame. Back then, headlines were filled with reports of arrests, reckless driving, late-night partying, and a general image of a young star spiraling out of control. But those who paid closer attention, including Justin himself, who has since spoken candidly about those years, know that it wasn't just typical teenage rebellion. It was the product of intense pressure, deep-seated anxiety, and unhealed emotional wounds. And now, with Diddy's legal drama exploding across headlines, those old wounds seem to be reopening. Here's where the story takes an even darker turn. Actor Terrence Howard recently gave an explosive interview where he exposed a series of disturbing practices inside Hollywood's inner circles.
You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
Give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
According to Howard, young male stars are often subjected to degrading man card initiation rituals, hazing-like experiences that are meant to test their loyalty, but in reality, leave lasting scars. These humiliating events, Howard claims, are a hidden epidemic in the industry, driving many young men into cycles of addiction, depression, and emotional collapse. And Howard didn't just speak in general terms. He directly named Diddy as one of the most powerful figures orchestrating these rituals. For fans of Justin Bieber, this revelation hit like a punch to the gut. Suddenly, Justin's past, which had once seemed like a chaotic blur of fame and poor choices, took on a much more sinister context. Justin was only 15 when he was introduced to Diddy by Usher.
You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher,
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album.
A moment that should have been a positive career connection. Instead, it marked the beginning of a secretive, troubling relationship. Diddy showered the teenage Justin with lavish gifts, luxury cars, a mansion, exclusive party access, and according to resurfaced footage, spent a lot of undocumented private time with him. In one clip, Diddy even jokes about how Justin should keep their activities private, a statement that now sends chills down the spine. Even Cat Williams went absolutely wild last year and exposed Hollywood for what it truly is.
It's all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
What once seemed like harmless mentorship now looks suspicious. Fans have gone back to watch old videos and interviews, noting moments where Diddy appears possessive or controlling toward Justin. In one exchange, Diddy presses Justin on why they don't hang out anymore. His tone slightly aggressive, his demeanor unsettling.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything?
Yeah,
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you my number.
Yeah.
Even seasoned artists like rapper Fabulous have admitted to feeling uncomfortable when Diddy pressured them to party. So imagine how a teenage Justin might have felt, trying to navigate this world without the life experience or emotional maturity to push back. And then there are the rumors about Diddy's own family being pulled into this toxic dynamic. Whispers in Hollywood suggest that Diddy may have used his twin daughters, Delilah and Jessie, to make young stars like Justin feel more comfortable, creating a false sense of safety and closeness. If true, this strategy only deepened the emotional entanglement, making it even harder for Justin to untangle himself when he eventually realized things were wrong. For years, Diddy's chaotic, abusive lifestyle has reportedly cast a long shadow over everyone in his orbit, including his own children, leaving a tangled web of hurt that stretches far beyond just the celebrities we see on screen. Justin isn't the only young artist whose life was shaped by Diddy's influence. Usher, who famously mentored Justin, also lived under Diddy's roof as a teenager. Years later, Usher admitted that the experience was so damaging, he would never allow his own son to go through the same thing. That confession has raised uncomfortable questions. If Usher knew how toxic Diddy's environment was, why did he bring Justin into it? Was it ignorance, pressure from the industry, or was it the unspoken reality that, in Hollywood, survival often means sacrificing the next generation? As Diddy's trial looms, legal experts suggest that Justin may soon be dragged into the legal spotlight. Rumors are swirling that he could be called to testify about his time with Diddy and what he witnessed behind closed doors. For someone who has spent the past few years trying to rebuild his life, focus on his marriage, and prioritize his mental health, the prospect of reliving those painful memories in court could be devastating. Insiders say Justin has been struggling emotionally under the weight of this possibility, trying to keep himself afloat while the media frenzy grows louder by the day. Fans are now asking a painful, complicated question. Should Justin confront the past and speak out against Diddy, or should he focus on protecting his peace, even if it means staying silent? On one hand, testifying could offer Justin a sense of closure, a chance to reclaim his story and help bring accountability to an industry that has hurt so many. On the other hand, stepping back into the spotlight, especially under such traumatic circumstances, could reopen wounds that have barely begun to heal. To understand the magnitude of this choice, we have to look at the bigger picture. Justin's struggles didn't start with Diddy, but they were certainly shaped by him. The entertainment industry has a long, ugly history of exploiting young talent, especially those who rise to fame before they're old enough to fully understand the consequences. Justin went from a small-town Canadian kid making YouTube covers to an international pop sensation almost overnight. The pressures were enormous, and the people around him weren't always looking out for his best interests. Instead, many saw him as a money machine, a brand, a product, not a person. That kind of dehumanization leaves deep scars, even as Justin tried to pull away from the spotlight in his 20s, focusing on his marriage to Hailey and exploring his faith. The shadows of his past never fully disappeared. Fans saw it in his music, which often wrestled with themes of loneliness, anxiety, and redemption. They saw it in his interviews, where he spoke about feeling isolated and burned out. And now, they're seeing it again in his drained, fragile public appearances. There's also the toll this is taking on his relationship with Hailey. The couple has been under constant media scrutiny, with tabloids eagerly speculating about the state of their marriage. While Hailey has stood by Justin through thick and thin, there's no denying that the pressure of public life, combined with the emotional fallout of Justin's past, has placed a heavy strain on their partnership. As Justin faces the possibility of being thrust back into the media firestorm, it's clear that his support system will be more important than ever. As the legal clock ticks closer to Diddy's trial, Justin Bieber stands at a crossroads. On one side is the possibility of coming forward, of breaking his silence and sharing what he knows, potentially helping to hold one of Hollywood's most powerful men accountable. On the other side is the enormous risk of re-traumatization, of plunging himself back into the painful memories he's worked so hard to bury. And somewhere in the middle, there's the haunting question: has Justin ever truly healed from what he endured, or has he simply survived it? Fans have watched Justin's journey play out like a public soap opera for over a decade. There were the early days of dizzying success, the baby era when his mop of hair and angelic voice made him an international icon practically overnight. There was the middle period, the crash, the arrests, the scandals, the spiraling behavior that left fans worried and the media eager to rip him apart. And then there was the attempt at rebirth. The Justin of his late 20s, newly married, reflective, trying to make peace with the boy he used to be. But as much as Justin has tried to leave the past behind, the past refuses to leave him. Diddy's downfall, in particular, seems to be reopening old wounds that never fully closed. And it's not just about Justin. It's about a pattern of behavior that has repeated itself over and over across multiple young artists, multiple generations, leaving behind a trail of emotional wreckage that the industry has largely ignored. Terrence Howard's shocking interview was a wake-up call. By speaking openly about the humiliating initiation rituals that young male stars endure, Howard forced Hollywood and the public to confront an ugly truth that has long been whispered about but rarely acknowledged. And by directly naming Diddy, Howard connected the dots between power, exploitation, and trauma in a way that made the consequences impossible to ignore. For Justin, the consequences have been playing out in real time. The images we see, the exhausted face, the distant gaze, the substances used to numb the pain, are just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath, there's likely a much deeper struggle. The internal battle between wanting to move forward and feeling trapped by the weight of unresolved trauma. Mental health experts say that this kind of trauma, especially when experienced at a young age, doesn't just disappear. It lingers, shaping the way someone sees themselves, their relationships, and the world around them. In Justin's case, it's also shaped his career. Even as he's tried to reclaim his music and his identity, there have been moments when the past has seeped through. Moments when the pain, the confusion, the anger have come to the surface, whether in a raw lyric, an emotional performance, or a candid interview. Fans have long sensed that Justin is carrying more than he lets on. And now, with Diddy's name back in the headlines, they're more worried than ever. So what happens next? If Justin is called to testify, the pressure will be unimaginable. He'll be forced to relive some of the most painful moments of his life under the harshest possible conditions, in a courtroom surrounded by cameras, with the whole world watching. Every word, every emotion, every slip will be analyzed, dissected, and judged by both the media and the public. For someone who has already endured so much public scrutiny, the thought of going through that again is almost unbearable. Yet there's also the potential for liberation. By speaking his truth, Justin could help break the cycle that has trapped so many young artists before and after him. He could shine a light on the hidden abuses of the entertainment industry, forcing a reckoning that has been delayed for far too long, and perhaps most importantly, he could reclaim his own story. Not as a victim, but as a survivor who found the strength to stand up and say, enough. But let's be clear, this is not a decision Justin should be pressured into making. The choice to speak out, to confront trauma, to engage with the legal system, it's deeply personal, and it comes with enormous risks. Fans, media outlets, and industry insiders need to respect that. Justin's first and most important responsibility is to his own well-being, not to the public's hunger for a redemption arc or a dramatic courtroom showdown. At the same time, this situation raises larger questions about the structures that allowed this kind of exploitation to flourish in the first place. How many young artists have been put in harm's way because powerful men were allowed to operate without accountability? How many careers, how many lives, have been derailed or destroyed by the hidden costs of fame? And why has the industry, and to some extent the public, been so complicit in turning a blind eye? In the end, Justin's path forward will likely require more than just staying silent or speaking out. It will require deep, sustained healing, the kind that comes not from public performances of strength, but from private, personal work. That means therapy, community, safe spaces, where he can process what he's been through without the weight of public expectation. It means surrounding himself with people who genuinely care about his well-being, not just his brand or his bankability. And it means giving himself permission to be human, to be imperfect, to be vulnerable. For For fans, the challenge is to support Justin without demanding that he play out his healing on a public stage. That means resisting the urge to speculate, to gossip, to push for confessions or declarations. It means holding space for his pain without making it about our own desire for closure or catharsis. And it means remembering that behind the headlines, behind the music, behind the carefully curated Instagram posts, there is a real person struggling to make sense of a life that has never truly been his own. Hailey Bieber, too, has a crucial role to play in this chapter. As Justin's closest partner and confidant, she'll be one of the few people who can offer him the kind of grounded, unconditional support he needs right now. But that's not an easy role to play, especially under the glare of constant media scrutiny. Already, rumors about their marriage have been swirling, fueled by tabloid speculation and social media drama. Whether or not those rumors have any basis in reality, they add another layer of pressure to an already fragile situation. For Hailey and Justin both, the coming months will likely test their resilience, their commitment, and their ability to navigate a storm that neither of them fully chose. But they also offer an opportunity, a chance to deepen their connection, to build a foundation that isn't based on image or expectation, but on genuine love and trust. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is clear: Justin Bieber's journey is far from over. He is still, in many ways, the same young man we met over a decade ago, searching for meaning, searching for connection, searching for a way to turn his pain into something redemptive. But he's also something more now. He's a survivor, someone who has endured more than most of us will ever understand, and who is still standing despite it all. Whatever comes next, whether it's a courtroom testimony, a new musical chapter, or simply a retreat into private life, Justin deserves the space and the grace to navigate it on his own terms. And as fans, the best thing we can do is stand beside him, not as spectators hungry for drama, but as supporters rooting for his healing. What do you think? Should Justin Bieber break his silence and testify against Diddy? Or should he focus on his own healing and stay out of the legal spotlight? Let's hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and let us know where you stand. And if you enjoyed the deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another one.